Hi, friends. Welcome back. We are going to dive straight in today. We are talking about ADHD paralysis. So, a little bit of how to get going, a little bit of how to get going once chaos has ensued, and maybe we've started 87 different tasks. Four of them are on fire. You know how it goes. And then you go into freeze and you're like, I don't know what the hell to do. I'm just going to stop. And then more chaos and anxiety and stress and shame and all the fun things. So, yeah. My name's Leah, your favorite ADHD coach, I hope. And yeah, we are going to dive straight in today. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I'm really glad that you are here. So, kind of like what I was just saying, and I use this example a lot. I heard it ages ago and I was like, yep, that is me. A lot of people, and they're usually neurotypical people, have ducks and they are in a row, at least sometimes. I very rarely have ducks and they are almost never in a row. I have squirrels and they're at a rave on acid. And that's okay. I'm friends with the squirrels. We're all good. Love it. Let's go. Love a good rave. But sometimes I need them to be a little bit more situated. And so, yeah, this is for the days when the squirrels are everywhere. So let's see. I've got kind of a framework that I kind of built around this. One of my beautiful clients was struggling with this last week. And so her and I kind of dove in a little bit deeper, which inspired this chat and the email that went along with it. So thanks, Emma. Love you. Love our chats. They're always great. We always get into some really fun stuff. So 5 steps here. The first thing to do is to normalize it. Like, realize that this isn't a character flaw. It is your overwhelmed ADHD brain, and it's become flooded and it's become frozen. So too many inputs, not enough dopamine, and a nervous system that's like, yeah, no, I'm out of here. That's where some of that freeze can come in of like, okay, well, it's all just gone to shit, so I'm going to sit and scroll. At least that's my go-to. I don't know what your go-to might be. So this is a really good time to say to yourself, this isn't necessarily a me problem. This is not like a moral failing. I'm not a shitty person. I'm not a horrible wife, mother, daughter, friend, husband, brother, any of those things. It's a system overload. So my system has been overloaded. Be aware. So just be like, whew, all right, shit's gone off the rails. I'm overwhelmed. I'm overloaded. I need to take a beat. So can I pause without punishment? A lot of times we beat ourselves up and punish ourselves for the pause, when if we can just take a minute and be like, okay, I need to kind of gather some of these squirrels. It's really beneficial, and especially trying to reduce that negative self-talk of, here you go again, you're such a piece of shit, this always happens, why are you like this? Well, you're like this because of ADHD, you're like this because of executive functioning, you're like this because of, cortisol, you're like this because of nervous system overwhelm. So just realizing that you are allowed to pause. And a lot of times we think, I don't have time to pause. I got too much shit going on. I got too many irons in the fire. I can't pause. However, and I get it. The pause seems counterintuitive. But if you can take a step back and just 60 seconds, 30 seconds, pause. All right, where are we at? It's going to save you so much time in the long run, not only from the freeze that happens when you get into like the, oh shit, I can't do anything, I'm overwhelmed, I'm just going to bow out, from the freeze side, but from also the frenzy. I'm kind of running around, spinning my wheels, and nothing actually gets done. So instead of doing that for 30, 45, 60 minutes, take a 60-second pause because you've got 60 seconds. A lot more than, like I said, running around like a squirrel at a rave for the next hour and not really getting much done and feeling shitty at the end of that. So step 1, normalize it. Have a moment with yourself. Pause without punishment. Easier said than done. Aware. So the second part of this step is to name the chaos. So before you like jump into fixing or doing all of that kind of stuff, like I said, pause and externalize the frenzy, externalize the swirl. Brain dump. Say it out loud. Send yourself a voice note. Write it on a napkin. I don't care. Ask yourself, what's taking up the most space in my brain right now? What's like the biggest thing? And for ADHDers, that is really difficult for us. This comes down to prioritization, where for neurotypicals or people that don't really struggle with prioritization, everything is kind of at different volumes. So like the least important things are kind of quiet and then they get more and then they get louder and louder. For us, everything is at a 10. Everything is screaming at us at a 10. So it's sometimes really difficult to say, what do I need to do first? So again, hit that pause button, take a breath. All right, what do I feel is taking up the most brain space? So you might not be able to be like, what's the most important? What should I do? What's, the list, the order? What's taking up the most brain space? It might not be the most important thing. That's okay. When we get in these freeze and or spiral moments, just picking something that seems to be the most important at that moment, aka taking up the most brain space, giving us the most anxiety, that kind of thing, it's a really good place to start. And then asking yourself, what are the shoulds I'm holding that feel heavy? There's probably a lot of them, but try to keep it within, whatever is going on in that moment. So this creates an emotional kind of breath, an emotional breathing room, even if nothing gets done yet, right? Done. So take that breath, see what's going on, see what comes up, see what's taking up the most space, and then go from there. Okay. The third part of this is reclaim the day. Reclaim your power, reclaim your control, reclaim all the things. Anytime, any day. So we love, and I think this is just humans in general. I think a lot of ADHDers are like this because it's the great excuse. But okay, starting on Monday. Okay, starting on the first of the month. Okay, starting after my birthday. Okay, starting on New Year's Day. Yeah, love that. Love a good excuse to dive into, a bit more structure around things and some accountability and having a date to work with. But that can really, or even just starting tomorrow, that can really fuck us up. Keep us stuck. So say your day goes off the rails at, Monday morning, 9 a.m. Whether it's, you overslept, you're rushed, a kid has a meltdown, there's traffic, you didn't get your coffee, whatever. If you're going to say, okay, I'm going to wait, okay, tomorrow's a new day. Well, that's the rest of your day. That's just being thrown out. Sometimes that is necessary, don't get me wrong, but we want that to be, more of the exception versus the rule. The rule here is you can start over at any time, any day. So maybe this looks like having a little check-in with yourself a couple times a day and literally setting an alarm to say, check in, I can start over. At noon, at 3:15, and at, 5:08, whatever it is. My point is, you can start the day over, the week over, the year over, the life over. I know that sounds dramatic. You can start over at any point. And I think reminding ourselves of that, even if you need a little bit of a buffer. So day goes off the rails at 9 a.m. All right, at noon, we're starting over. I would much rather lose from 9 to noon than 9:15 to 9 a.m. the next morning. Right? So just remind yourself that you have the permission to start over at anytime. You can reboot at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday in May. It doesn't have to be beginning of the week, beginning of the year, birthday, in the morning. Whatever works for you at that point. So just take a peek and bring it in. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. Every minute is a chance to start again. Not perfectly, but it is a chance to start again. Doesn't mean that you're kind of like, not paying attention to what happened before, but you're taking back the power of the day or the week or the month or the year or whatever it is. Okay, step 4, shift the energy, not the to-do list. So now that your brain is open to trying again, don't jump straight into okay, now I gotta get back at it. Woo. Take a minute, shift the energy. Maybe this can look like, so I talk about having momentum tasks. So things we really benefit from momentum versus motivation. So once you're kind of already in motion, it's easier to stay in motion. But this doesn't necessarily have to be related to what it is that you're trying to do. So if you're trying to, clean the house, do some laundry, do some work stuff, send emails, make that phone call, schedule that doctor's appointment, they don't necessarily have to be connected. So your momentum task can look like opening the windows. It's really nice and beautiful and sunny today. Maybe I just need a little bit of a reset. So I'm going to go around and open all the windows, let some fresh air in. Maybe it looks like washing your hands in really cold water or really warm water. I love warm water. It's a really great way for me to regulate and reset. So play with that. See what that feels like for you. Putting on a little bit of music for a minute or for the whole time that you're trying to do the thing. Do you need music in the background? Do you need music to dance around and get amped up? How can you use that to your advantage? Lighting a candle, changing clothes, changing rooms, going on literally a 5-minute walk outside to get some fresh air, get some vitamin D, that kind of stuff. Having a snack, preferably that doesn't come out of a bag, but no judgment. You do you. Just switch up the energy and then say, all right, now what do I want to do? It's about that pause as well. So this isn't necessarily about being productive. It's about changing the internal channel from frozen to okay, we're defrosting. We got a little bit of a flow going on. Okay, step number 5, make it easier next time. It's well, yeah, okay, cool. This is optional when and if you have the capacity, right? So when freeze passes, see if you can zoom out with some compassion. And just ask yourself, okay, how did that happen? Did I overload myself? Was I doing too much task switching? This is a really great exercise in self-reflection, which we also struggle with, right? Future planning and self-reflection. So this is, how did I get to that point? Were there any emotional triggers that came up? Was there something that was, really hit me that I didn't quite pay attention to before? Oh yeah, okay, there was that thing, whatever it may be. Like I said, did you take on too many things? Did you say yes to too many things? Really just take a minute to look back. Did you skip the cue of your brain being like, hey, we're doing too much. We need to take a beat. We need to take a drink of water. We need to, have a break. Where you're like, nope, we don't have time for that. Push through. So this is about looking at, did I maybe need to pause instead of push? A lot of pauses going on today. So, and this is a place of curiosity, not judgment. Not how the hell did I get myself into that again, even though I've said that plenty of times, but more so curiosity. How the hell did I get myself into this? Or what happened? And it's not about blaming yourself. It really is about building self-awareness for future you so that you have better tools. What can this experience teach future me? What kind of gift can I give future me by learning from this? And it's not going to be perfect. You'll do it again. You'll, task switch and become overwhelmed, and it's okay. This is not about eliminating these ADHD symptoms and the thing that come up for us. It's about when we do drop the ball or when something does go off the rails, being able to get back on track quicker. Oh, okay, that thing happened. I realize that I'm going to pause. It's okay to pause. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. All right, let's pick it back up. Sometimes that's easier said than done as well. So the action item here is to see if you can create like a shift list. This is kind of what I was talking about of that momentum list of 3 to 5 simple energy resets that you can use next time the squirrels really are tying one on and raving and being psychos, right? This is about the awareness. Oh, okay. I'm catching myself doing it. A big one here is task switching. I posted something about this the other day about how like I had breakfast cooking and I had half of it here and half of it here. And then I was like, I need to do my hair, and like curling iron's plugged in. And I'm like, whoa. I didn't catch it until I was like, you can't eat like a hot breakfast and do your hair at the same time. What are you doing? So I caught it, had a little chuckle, turned off the curling iron, and then came in and ate my breakfast and then went back at it. So I caught it. I was in like a frenzied moment? Yeah, but that's okay. Caught it, figured out, all right, most important thing is hot eggs. I don't want cold eggs. So yeah, it still happens. I mean, I talk about this stuff all day, every day. I've been coaching for, full-time for 3 years now. Still happens. We're not trying to eliminate it. That is not sustainable. And it's an expectation that's unrealistic. So, look at what is sustainable for you and what is realistic. So, at the end of all of this, your day doesn't need to be impressive. If it is, great. First of all, you're only trying to impress yourself for the most part, right? So it doesn't need to be impressive. It needs to be gentle and kind and enjoyable, right? I think so many of us get wrapped up in all the shit. Sometimes that's necessary. Sometimes that's just, it is what it is. There's a lot going on. But I want to invite you to invite a little bit more gentleness, joy, kindness, compassion, all of those things to your brain, to your nervous system, to your capacity. And that all starts with little acts of awareness, pause without punishment, and then something with a little bit of momentum. So you're not behind, you're not broken. You are allowed to begin again anytime you damn well please. So please, please, please keep that in mind when you're feeling stuck. You are allowed to, doing anything. Smallest thing. One dish. One pair of socks. Whatever it may be. Okay. That is it for today. If you want to dive deeper into this, please head over to my website, leahccoaching.com. There's a Momentum Monday blog link, and you can click on that, and then you can read more about the ADHD paralysis and all of that kind of stuff in further detail. Of course, if you want to schedule a free chat, see what's going on, see if we can kind of get a better handle on your specific brand of ADHD, give me a call. Thanks for being here. See you next time. Bye.